Hello, I'm Jacob. I'm the host of the show. Thank you for watching, commenting, and subscribing, and just being a part of what we do here. So, we're entering the beginning stages of free agency. So, when we record this, this is Monday. We are technically in the legal tampering period, or in the next hour we'll be in the legal tampering period. And I put legal tampering period in quotation marks because everyone knows someone else, some other player's agent in some other organization. So to begin, let's start with the franchise tags. As the Dolphins had franchise tag tight end Mike Gesicki, I like that decision. Mike Gesicki's a good football player. Try to get him to a long-term deal. He doesn't have high passing numbers, but the catches that he can make are impressive, and he's a threat in the red zone, which is what you want as a tight end. The Bucks decided to tag Chris Godwin. We will talk a whole lot about the Bucks in the future video, but at this point they just tagged Chris Godwin. The Browns franchise tagged David Njoku, a surprising move I thought on their behalf, but they want to show some tight end experience with Austin Hooper and now David Njoku. The Colts, or one of the Colts, Jack Doyle, decided to retire after 9 years. Jack Doyle made a big name for himself in the beginning stages of his career on special teams. I mean, you can just listen to how Pat McAfee talks about Jack Doyle in terms of when he first met him, he was a special teams tight end, and how he was so happy for him to get the opportunity to be a starter and show what he could do. So to make something out of yourself, it took him 9 years to do that, but he was a starter. That shows that he could be something. That he did become something in the NFL. Some, I guess you would call it depressing news for the Atlanta Falcons, as Calvin Ridley was definitely suspended for at least the 2022 season for gambling. He went and did his best Pete Rose impression. Now, here's the problem I have with this suspension. It's not the fact that he was suspended. It's the fact of he was suspended, but there's been far worse things done to people from other people in the sport that they are only suspended for 6 games. So I think this is a big stretch, and I thought he was actually going to at least say, well, if I'm indefinitely suspended, I should at least have the chance to appeal. So if I am suspended, I'm only suspended the year, because it could be longer. It could be he may never play football again, which would be a shame, because supposedly the Eagles were interested, and that could have easily happened, and then nope, he suspended for gambling. It's a shame. He is a good talent, but these things happen, unfortunately. Now, according to Ridley, he only betted on games that he was not playing in. And according to Ridley, he only bet $1,500. Now, Atlanta's tricky. They don't have their own kind of betting system. You have to go through a bookie. So maybe that's what he got. Maybe he won so much that the bookie just went to the cops and said, no, this guy won too much in betting. Or maybe something, I don't know exactly. This is all circumstantial. This is what Calvin Ridley said on his Twitter. That's all we know. The Bengals placed the franchise tag on Jesse Bates, decided to not place it on C.J. Uzomah, excuse me. To not place it on Uzomah. It's hard to say. An interesting move, but a move they did need to make, because they didn't want Jesse Bates to go walk and go to another team where he could produce for them. The Browns decided not to exercise the option on fullback Andy Janovich contract, which makes him a free agent. Which you don't see a lot of free agent fullbacks in the league anymore, so it is a surprising thing. But he's a good fullback. He reminds me a lot of some of the other fullbacks in the league. He can play tight end. He can play fullback. It works well. The Chiefs placed the franchise tag on Orlando Brown, not on Tyrann Mathieu. This was not a surprise. If you listened to the report last week, they said Tyrann Mathieu was not being franchise tagged. Orlando Brown was. However, Orlando Brown said, I have to deal with some things before I sign the franchise tag. So we're in that little bubble at this moment. The Cowboys decided to franchise tag Dalton Schultz, not Randy Gregory. A lot of people are like, well, why did they do this? Well, first off, they used the non-exclusive franchise tag, allowing a team that, if they wanted to, they could try and talk. They could talk to Dalton Schultz and try and sign him. But if they were to do that, the Cowboys could do two things. Either one, they could have the right to first refusal, or two, if they were to trade him to that team, get 2 first-round picks. Now that's not going to happen, most likely, but that is the rules in terms of the non-exclusive tag. But really, the Cowboys would have had to franchise tag Randy Gregory for $17.3 million, which is a lot of money. Or they could franchise tag Dalton Schultz for $10.9 million. This was a safer option in terms of the money department. Maybe not the best option, but a safer option in terms of money.